Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. 32 teams, 32 days, and today we're talking about the Washington Redskins, a team that I'm kind of mixed about for this upcoming 2018 NFL season. What do you guys think, Redskins fans? I really want to know. I'm really looking for hope. We're going to discuss this team today, discuss this team's strengths, discuss this team's weaknesses, give you my statistical projections for some offensive players, give you my bold predictions for this football team, and then end this with my official win-loss prediction for the Washington Redskins. So let's start by talking about their strengths, and let's start by talking about their linebackers. I like the linebackers in Washington. Let's start with Ryan Kerrigan, who may have had his best season yet last year. 13 sacks for Ryan Kerrigan. He is not missing Brandon Rackbro on the other side. He's doing just fine, leading sacks for the Washington Redskins. He is currently, I think, the best player on this entire defense. It is in my opinion, but it's a pretty damn good opinion until Jonathan Allen ascends eventually. I think he is better than Josh Norman right now. He continues to lead this team and do a damn good job at it. Opposite of him, we have Preston Smith, who had 8 sacks last season, had a bounce back season last year, only 4.5 sacks in 2016, 8 sacks in 2017. Like the bump of production there. Give Ryan Kerrigan some help. That's what he did. Zach Brown in the middle of this defense. We saw what he did last season. Continued to be a consistent force in the middle. He keeps changing teams, but now he's actually staying, so I like that. Look, he's not a great linebacker bullet. He's able to go around the field, side to side linebacker, cleaning things up. He's decent. And then Mason Foster next to him. Not a huge Mason Foster fan. I prefer Brown over him, but look, he's a decent inside linebacker as well. When you combine these inside linebackers with Ryan Kerrigan and Preston Smith, I'm a fan. And I'm a fan of the linebackers in Washington. Next strength for this football team, we also have the offensive line. Trent Williams returning at left tackle when he is healthy. He is one of the best left tackles in the NFL, and he's normally healthy, so I'm expecting a great 2018 season for him. Brandon Scherf at right guard. For my money, he's the second best offensive lineman on this offensive line. Also have Morgan Moses at right tackle. He's a good right tackle, right? He's a prototypical right tackle, so I like that as well. Sean Laval at left guard. Okay, not a fan of him, but I really like Trent Williams, Brandon Scherf, and Morgan Moses, so I like the offensive line in Washington. We move on though to the weaknesses though for this football team, and for me, we must start at the running back position. I mean, Jesus Christ, they brought in Adrian Peterson. Now look, okay, he's the best running back of the 2010s, okay? Maybe even of the 2000s, but I would contend that Daniel Thomas will have that conversation another day, okay? Adrian Peterson, best running back of the 2000s. The problem is he's done, okay? He's absolutely, entirely, completely done. He had some decent games last year for the Arizona Cardinals, but Jesus Christ, people, he's done. He's been done for 3 seasons now. He's done nothing for 3 seasons, and they're expecting him to save the running back position after Darius Geis went down with his injury that ended him for the entire season. So, not encouraged there. Samaje Perine, did he average what? 3.4 yards per carry. Get him out of my face. I don't want to hear about Samaje Perine. Now, Chris Thompson I like. And if you're in a PPR league, grab Chris Thompson. This is the year to have Chris Thompson PPR. I remember I had him at the beginning of last season. He was tearing it up before he got injured. Now the question is with him, will he stay healthy? We're gonna discuss that a little bit later. But I like Chris Thompson. Peterson stinks, and Perine really stinks. I mean, I know why they call him Perine now, because Jesus, P.U., he stinks. And that's a good nickname, Samaje P.U. So with that said, running backs, not good in Washington. We move on, though, to the next weakness for this football team. And I actually have to go cornerbacks. Now, yes, they're led by Josh Norman. I like Josh Norman. I prefer Ryan Kerrigan over him, but I like Josh Norman. Okay, so Josh Norman, best quarterback on this team. Good #1 cornerback tab in the NFL. No longer in the discussion for best cornerback in the NFL, but definitely still, I'd say, top 10. Okay, so good. All right, there's no problem there. Problem is that's it. Okay, the problem is that's all we have currently in the cornerback position. Now, we're going to be relying upon Quinton Dunbar to be the #2 cornerback, and I think he could do a decent job. He did well last year, but I haven't seen him in such a huge role yet. I want to see him step up to the plate. I'm intrigued. I'm also not very encouraged. Okay, we also have Fabian Moreau, formerly out of UCLA. Didn't play much at all last year. dealt with injuries. That's been a problem with him thus far. So what's he going to do? I don't know. And then that's literally it. I mean, after that, we have guys that have not played, okay? And that concerns the hell out of me. And when we're talking about that for this team, I don't know how you're going to have faith in this cornerback position outside of Josh Norman. And Dunbar, I think, is going to do okay, but, you know, again, we'll see him in this expanded role. So quarterback's definitely a strength for me for this football team. So the position in the middle, quarterback, why was it not a strength? Alex Smith, he's decent, right? Maybe even pretty good, but he's not a top 10 quarterback in this league. And for me, to put it as a strength, it would have to be, okay? Because I do think the Redskins have a top 10 offensive line. I do think the Redskins have a top 10 linebacker core. I don't think they have a top 10 quarterback in Alex Smith, but he's decent. He'll get the job done. We know that. Last year had his best season, yes, so maybe he's still ascending. I don't think so, but maybe that's your argument. It's a decent argument. I think he's fine, but I do think you downgraded at the quarterback position. I do prefer Kirk Cousins to Alex Smith. That is a preference that I have, and we can debate that all night and day and morning, and that's fine. I think that will prove to be true this season. I think you will see that to be true this season, as Kirk Cousins may be in the Super Bowl. So with that said, we move on to the other positions that I want to discuss real quick. Wide receivers. I'm intrigued with the wide receivers. Paul Richardson, formerly of the Seattle Seahawks, he's coming in. A guy I like. He's also has a problem staying on the football field, but whenever he's been there for Russell Wilson, he's normally done a good job and a decent job there, so I'm looking forward to him. Josh Doctson, will he take a step forward? That's the question with him. I haven't been very encouraged in preseason and training camp. I haven't heard great things. But last season, it was encouraging, right? For him not to play his first season and last season, come in and do a good job. 500 receiving yards for him. Okay, I'm encouraged. Take that step forward. Potentially become 900 plus yard receiving receiver this year. That'd be really nice for him. We'll see if he can actually do that. And then, of course, we had Jamison Crowder, who was up and down last season. I was expecting a huge year for Crowder last year, if you remember. Let me down. So I had a decent year. What will he do this year? Apparently, he has great rapport with Alex Smith. We'll see how that ends up. With that said, we move on to my Cisco projections for the Washington Redskins. Let's start with quarterback Alex Smith. 3,600 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and a 97.0 pass rating for your boy Alex Smith. So again, this is a very Alex Smithian stat line. He gives you low interceptions, but not too many touchdowns either. You take what you can get, but you do get a good pass rating with it. That's a decent happy meal. We move on to the running back position. Adrian Peterson, 150 carries, 550 yards, 4 touchdowns. So look, he's not going to break 4 yards a carry. And that's my number. And really, my number is even more critical than that. My number is like 4.3, 4.4. But at least give me 4. That's my Mendoza line. If you ain't giving me that, get the hell out of my face. And he ain't giving you that, so I think you're going to learn to be very frustrated with AP this season. Despite, yes, I know he looked decent in preseason. I know he's in great shape, according to his former teammates and whatever. He's done. Okay, he's just done. And the wide receiver, Jamison Crowder, 55 catches, 700 yards, and 6 touchdowns. So I think it's going to be very dispersed because Alex Smith, number one, that's what he does. And number two, no one's really separating themselves right now. Crowder and Smith have the best chemistry, but you still have Jordan Reed. You still have Vernon Davis, whom Alex Smith has a great rapport with. Josh Doctson, who we discussed earlier, and Paul Richardson as well. And Chris Thompson's going to get involved. So, and Alex Smith won't throw for a bunch of passing yards. He can throw for a good amount, but I don't have him throwing for a bunch of 3,600, not a lot. Okay, so don't expect huge 800, 900 receiving yards. It's possible, but I just don't expect it. So with that said, my bold predictions for this football team, I have Chris Thompson playing all 16 games and having a great year. Now, again, this will be receiving because he can't run the football. I mean, he can do a decent job at it, but they're not going to give him a lot of carries. They just don't trust him to stay healthy, and I don't either, right? So they're going to give him the ball. Alex Smith will find him for the check down. That's going to be consistent because they're not going to want to have Adrian Peterson out there and passing downs if they're smart, if they know anything about what they're doing. No. And P-Ron, enough of a PU. I'm sick of it. So have Chris Thompson out there. Have him starting all 16 games, doing a good job. That's my bold prediction there. Adrian Peterson finally retires after the year. After this year, he's going to say, all right, you know, I tried. I had a good time. I'm out. And it may require him to go all the way until August or September of next year. He's going to be sitting around on his couch waiting for another running back to get injured, and then he's finally going to give up. But I think after this year, he's done. And then he's not the only one that's done. I think Jay Gruden gets fired after this year. You know, it's gotten old. You know, 4 seasons now. They made the playoff once at 9-7, or maybe they were 9-6-1. But either way, it's gotten old. We get it. This is who the Redskins are under Jay Gruden. They're not improving. They're not moving. They're not going anywhere. There's no direction here. I mean, seriously, Alex Smith is not a long-term direction here. And yes, you're encouraged by some of your recent draft picks, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen. But how many years are we gonna have to sit here and wait for them to develop in order for this team to ever compete for a Super Bowl? Are the Redskins even close to competing for a Super Bowl? No. And I think out of this year, Daniel Snyder's gonna say, dude, screw this. I mean, there's no direction right now for the Redskins that say, oh, they're gonna be ready to win the Super Bowl by X year. They're just stuck. They're incredibly stuck right now. They're not developing their roster very well. They're having some decent draft picks, but they're not enough of them for me to say, okay, they're heading in the right direction. I think after this year, they're going to say that. Now, with that said, I don't have them being bad. I have the Washington Redskins going 6-10. Okay, so that's not too bad. You know, you're gonna win some games. You may, and best case scenario, look, you could go 8-8. You can go 8-8. Worst case scenario, I think you win at least 5. Because with this off, I think Alex Smith, this offense is going to move a decent amount. They won't be able to run the football, which will limit Alex Smith and this offense entirely from being a playoff contender. But 5 wins should be the absolute floor. 8 wins the ceiling for me. And my prediction 6-10. I'm just not buying it. I'm not excited. These players are going to be good. I'm telling you, Deron Payne is going to be good. Jonathan Allen is going to be good. Josh Norman is going to be good. But are they really going to be enough for this team to compete for the playoffs in this stacked NFC right now, where we're talking about those 3 NFC South teams? We're talking about the return of Aaron Rodgers. The Bears are upcoming. The Lions are still there. I mean, there are just too many damn good teams right now, and the Redskins are behind. The Giants are coming back, you know, to a certain extent. The Cowboys, they're still at your level, and the Eagles are above. So I just don't want to hear it right now when it comes to the Redskins. I'm not buying it. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the 2018 Washington Redskins. What are your thoughts? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. I'll be back next time to discuss the Miami Dolphins. What will I think about them? Ooh, that'll be my most hated video yet. MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment. And I'm out. Peace.